Hello everyone and welcome to an ESO guide video. So today's goal, we are going to be covering vMA and helping you guys get your first clear of it. In an effort to do so, I am going to go over every round by showing all the ad waves, the boss. I'm going to go over all the glyphs, when you should use them, why you should use them. And yeah, so with that out of the way, let's get on with it. Alrighty guys, so before we get into the first round, I just want to go over and explain all the glyphs to you guys so you'll have a good understanding of what they do and why you should use them before we get on with the mechanics of anything else. So, big one to note before using any of the glyphs, they last for 30 seconds. The glyphs will respawn in between every round, and there are 5 rounds plus the boss round of every stage. This is in particular stage 1. The first glyph you'll see here is the Battle Axe, or the Glyph of Power, and what this does is that for the next 30 seconds after activating the synergy it gives you, you will have massively increased damage. So it'll help you get those really nice burn phases if you need them, or if you're struggling on damage. That'll help. The Glyph of Haste, I believe is what this one's called. Next 30 seconds, big old speed buff. Again, really useful. So it's kind of, this one's a little more of a niche option in my opinion. You don't really need this for much, but when it does come up, it's handy. The Chalice, or it looks like a chalice anyway, the Glyph of Healing. The Glyph of Healing will massively increase your healing received for the next 30 seconds. I don't think there's a particular statistic on it in here. Yeah, it doesn't actually tell you what it does, but it massively increases your healing received. So overall, fairly handy. And the last one left would be the Glyph of Defense. So when you grab this one, unfortunately I cannot give an example due to this guy here not being a ranged ad. But what the Glyph of Defense will do is, for the next 30 seconds, all ranged attacks aimed at you will be reflected back upon their caster. And this does include ads with bows, so this will hit everything. Overall, this is very handy for some of the ranged heavy ad waves, especially the ones that do like 10,000 damage per hit. This will help you get through it. Alrighty guys, so with the glyphs out of the way, let's get on with the rest of the video. Alrighty guys, so let's get started with stage 1. I do apologize in advance if I have a lot of repetition or I stutter a little bit. This is mostly an unedited run of vMA. I'm just going to be slowing stuff down enough for you guys to see mechanics, and yeah. Alright, so ad priority here in my opinion. Kill the ranged ads. This whole stage is really kind of more of an introduction to vMA than anything else. It's not particularly challenging. It's just trying to get you used that there's going to be a little bit of damage in this. So like I said, kill the ranged ads first, and just keep kiting around. Don't let the melees hit you, and you'll be all good. Odds are you will not need any glyphs for this particular stage. If you do, don't worry about it. The speed glyph is probably the best one here if you're going to use any particular one. That or the Battle Axe for the boss burn. These segments are going to take a little bit, unfortunately, because I gotta wait for the rounds to spawn in. I also do not know particular spawn points. Just want to let you guys know in advance. So this is not a guide in getting like the most optimal run. This is more just to help people out who haven't actually done it yet. Big one for him. Just block that. All you really have to do. I think they also do a tail sweep, and again, all you have to do is either block or step out of it. No particular mechanic, but heavy attacks on this guy. Let me refresh that food buff so it stops yelling at me. And also, you saw that little AoE that keeps chasing me around. Just keep kiting it. It doesn't move particularly fast, so it's not hard to avoid. But it will do a significant little chunk of damage if it does ever catch up to you, so just keep running around. You can also dodge roll out of that. It's just a little easier on mag characters if you just block, though. Just for the stamina sustain. You can dodge roll his heavies if you don't want to block him. My apologies, banged my knee on my desk. Alright, so last round here is the boss. Now, for the most part, he's going to hold still. He's going to deal some damage. But his main mechanic is he's going to summon this little ad here. And normally, what you want to do is burn this guy. I am actually going to leave him be. Just so you get to see the mechanics of what happens if you leave one alive. I will kill an extra one if he spawns it. But basically what I believe happens is that he heals if he ever absorbs one of these. Because he will, eventually the ad will reabsorb into him. I'm going to just let it simmer until it does so. Yep, there he goes. I do believe this just heals him. Not much, but the main goal here is just burn the ad as quickly as possible were it to show up. Makes it a little easier. Also, more ads will continue to spawn as he gets further and further along in this. Not really a DPS race, because honestly, it's not that hard to beat. But just keep in mind, kill the ads first, then focus him. Very, very easy boss to deal with. All the while, make sure you keep moving around, because of that thing will be chasing you. And watch the boss. I believe he can snare you if you get too close to him for too long. Alrighty, guys, so on with stage 2. Alrighty, so first thing here is if you are a Magtoon, I would highly recommend swapping your ability over and adding in Ellie Drain. Even if it means sacrificing a bit of damage for this stage particularly is a bit painful. As a range toon, my preferred strategy is to stay within this inner ring, as you only get hit by one spinning blade over here compared to being potentially hit by 2 lower down. Also, it is important, do not step on that. I mean, that's not hard to tell, but just do your best to watch that. Don't accidentally step on it, it will hurt. Yeah, I only have Ellie Drain slotted here just for the boss fight in particular, as it is particularly annoying. Also, a little trick in case you're feeling like the pressure's a little too high and you need some help, you can walk up and click these switches. And all the traps will turn off for a little bit. Including, I believe, you can walk in the center. Yes. Obviously, don't stay there too long, but that'll help get some of the reprieve in case you need it. Priorities are these little guys, as they shoot little lightning AoEs at you. Let me leave him alive for a minute so you can kind of see one of his mechanics. There's the lightning one I was talking about. But in particular, I'm looking at that one over there. I'm going to leave him alive for a minute. That. You want to make sure you avoid any ground AoEs he throws at you, as they hurt quite a bit. Keep moving. If you can, don't do what I just did there. I'm being a bit dumb. I was walking with the spinning blade. Usually it's better to kite this way, as you'll only get hit by the spinning blade for about a second. So if you have to kite, do your best to kite this way. It will help you out in the long run. Don't be afraid to just go pure on defense for this round. Again, this one's pretty damn painful, to be honest. This round in general just hurts. So it's always better to focus on your survivability and your sustain, and let everything work itself out. Including stop for heavy attacks when you need to. Because there's nothing time sensitive here. There's nothing that's going to keep spawning without you killing everything first. So, like I said, prioritize your defense. Prioritize helping yourself. Don't worry about, don't worry about burning fast. Not necessary. Alright, so we're already on to the boss round. So, they spawn one at a time. As you can see, he's shooting this little lightning AoE at me. So just keep kiting. And after a little bit, he will do that. And the next one will come out. That will vary depending on how much damage you do to him. Sometimes, if you get lucky, you can even kill him before he crouches. Like you see, this one took a lot more time. And there's your third one. Now, for the rest of this fight, all they are going to be doing is alternating which ones are standing up. That's all they're going to do. So you can see he's up now. He's back down because he's over-damaged. They also have that. They have a melee attack, kind of like the little ones where they just walk up and try to slap you. And they have this ranged ability that he's using right now. Those are their only 3 powers. So, just take your time. Again, this whole round is all about just your defense and focusing on your sustain. Don't worry about overburning them unless you're pushing for a score run. Watch the AoEs and keep moving, and you'll be all good. And do not get overzealous for a burn, because that was one of the deaths to me so many times during my first run of this, is where I got way too aggressive for a burn. And just kept prioritizing it too much. You see there, I didn't have my healing up at all. And as soon as the last one has spawned, he will no longer crouch at all. He's just going to let you kill him. And you're done. Alrighty, guys. On to stage 3. Alright, so now we've hit stage 3. The important thing to note with this entire stage, above all else, is do your best to stay on the islands. The water is not always going to deal damage to you, but when it does, it hurts significantly. You'll begin becoming electrified by the main boss up top there. Secondly, as you can see the little ghost ad chasing me around, kill the thing that cast it, and it'll kill the ghost ad for you. Your #1 priority is this guy here. Every time you see one of those stranglers spawns, it must die. What will happen if you do not is the ad will snare you significantly and add a dot to you. So, like I said, your main thing is you must kill those as quickly as possible. Elsewise, anytime you see, focus the mages if you can. Kill them and you'll kill their little summon. For the Wamasu, I'd highly recommend for your first try through this either ulti-dumping him or grabbing one of the glyphs. He was particularly hard for me when I first run through here. As you can see, the Strangler snuck up here, so let's go ahead and get rid of him. I apologize in advance for not remembering to go over the glyphs too much during individual boss fights. But, unfortunately, I'm just so used to not using them that I don't think about them in the early stages too much. But I will do my best to continue paying attention to them. But as you guys can see here, kind of your big glyphs for this stage are the healing glyph and the speed glyph, at least for me. Maybe the damage glyph for the Wamasu, but elsewise, nothing too significant with this round. All right, for this boss here, or mini boss, he's a little tougher than the others. I recommend killing the ads off first around him, as he will just charge up heavy attacks and some AoEs. These guys will particularly keep pelting you during the whole fight, so it's easier if you just kill him first. Kill the Strangler. And now you can deal with this guy. Block. You'll see him charging up his heavy. It's very, very easy to deal with. Now, you can interrupt him out of what he just did there, but I personally find it far more reliable just to let him, just to back up and damage him while he's charging it, as he's not attacking you while doing that. Makes your life a little easier. Strangler in the center. Alright, as you see these two Mias, or whatever they're called, summon their little ads, kill them. Ignore the ad and just kill them. It'll get rid of the ad for you. Boop. Wipe out the snake. So the ad priority here is not too harsh, honestly. It's just avoid AoEs, do your best to kill them. The only one you have no choice but to kill no matter what is those stranglers. Alright, see there's a strangler there, so let's get rid of that. Yep, he did get the snare on me. Alright, so this boss here with the staff, I tend to, again, leave him until last. And when he's doing that, if you are a ranged character, don't attack him. He reflects all your damage back at you while you're ranged. But now that he's no longer using his little reflect ability, just go ahead and mow him over. I don't believe he does anything particular other than use that little pull on you. Not too much of a big deal. But there you go. And we should be on to the boss round now. Alright, so for her big thing here is get her onto the island and begin doing this. I highly recommend turning her around repeatedly, as she will do that conal and it hurts when it hits you. Alright, she's going to spawn ad waves. Now, when you have higher damage, you can just kind of burn her, but when you do not, I would highly recommend going through, purposely killing all the ads off first, and then returning to her. Just remember to keep moving. Don't let that conal hit you, and you're good. As you can see there, just more ads keep spawning, but we're already at a point now where we can just finish her off. So like I said, ad priority here is Strangler, ads, then her at all times. Don't worry about DPS racing her. Her only big mechanic is that conal. Alrighty, on to round 4. Alright, so we've reached round 4. And the main mechanic here, I will find it when they spawn, but the main mechanic that you're looking out for is there's these little itty-bitty rolly droids that come rolling out here, and they'll land on this grate. Your main goal is you have to kill them before they reach this point. As soon as one spawns, I will show you it. Normal ranged ad, normal assault ad. Alright, another normal ranged ad. Aha, there's one. These little guys come rolling out, and if they sit in the center too long, they will shield up, like so, and begin firing off little lightning AoEs at you. So it is important to do your best to kill them before they reach this point. You can kill them once they're like this. As you can see, you just got to cut through their damage shield first. It is a little obnoxious, so do your best to just keep moving around and keep an eye out for the little buggers. They're exactly like the Stranglers. They have no set amount of spawns. They just kind of keep spawning on a timer. So just keep that in mind. Keep running around and looking for them, and you'll be good. Everything else in here is kind of basic. You know, basic ranged ad, basic melee ad. Let me see if there's any particular priority. Alright, so these guys in this one, instead of having the ground-based light or ground-based 1 AoE, they have that. Just kite that. It hurts a lot, so it's really good just to make sure that does not hit you. My best recommendation, keep your distance. For the spider droids, singularly, they don't hurt that much, but together, they hit hard. So do your best, kite them out, and just keep hitting them from the back. Even if you're stam, you can kind of kite them all back. You can just hit them all backing up, and they should be able to keep up with you too well. Just the important thing to note is just to keep moving. Another one of these guys. I do not like giving him any closer to these guys than I have to. Again, just to kite that electrical wave. It makes it a little easier on you. Ow. So, you can see we have one of our bosses up. She hits kind of hard. Back up, heal, keep your shields up, and you're good. You can focus her or the ad. I tend to focus the ads first just to make it a little easier to deal with her, as her damage by herself is not as high as when she's got the 2 ads pelting you as well. And that pretty much goes for every single boss wave in here. Is just kill ads, focus on the little spheres, then kill the boss. Keep your healing up at all times. That is one of the most important things to learn about vMA, is that you do not want to reactively heal. You want to try to make sure your healing is up at all times. This includes Vigor, this includes shields if you only have those. You actually do need a real source of healing in this instance, no matter what class you are, so figure out what works best for you. If you're a DK, that might be Burning Embers and Lash. If you're a Sork, it might be Crit Surge or a pet. Magblade, in particular, this spammable is usually enough, though you can slot an extra heal like Refreshing Path or something if you really want a little bit of extra. My first few runs through this, I actually used this as my primary spammable instead of using the Psijic ability. Alright, so he's just a big melee ad. Big thing is that he's got that heavy attack. Nothing too extreme there. Take you out. And I believe after him is the boss wave. We shall see here in a second. Yes, it is. Alright, so for the boss, your main boss is this guy here. And the main mechanic right now is stay under him. If you step out, he lightning attacks you. So just stay under him while you're moving. Try to kill the ads as they spawn. And after X amount of time, this boss will crouch down. I believe he stops right about now. Get out. He's going to begin firing under him, so it's no longer safe, and mortaring you. During this wave, your first try through, just focus on kiting and killing ads. That's all you have to do. And just try to stay close enough that you're going to be able to come back to the boss when he stops and get back under him. And rinse, repeat. Just keep doing this over and over again until the boss is dead. Overall, very simple guy. Took me a little bit the first time around because I didn't think about the ad waves too much. I didn't put enough stock into them. And when you're lower damage, it is very important to prioritize those little ads, including over the execute. Like I said, he'll just keep doing that over and over again, just taking his trips around. Just keep an eye on him, watch the AoEs, and stay under him when needed. Alrighty, guys. On to what is arguably now the most hated round in the game. I'll see you there. Alrighty, guys. So now we are on what is absolutely my most despised round in this entire arena. This is usually what catches up a new player in the arena, too. It's the hardest one, in my opinion. So for this one, your main thing is you must stay on one of these ice fields. The water will kill you. You can walk through it for a little bit, but you need to make sure you keep stay on the ice field for as much as possible. So, the troll. Bash these guys or kill them before they can do that for too long, because what they are doing is channeling an attack. And if they finish that channel, they will break the ice around you. They'll break it, they'll lower you down to 2, and then to 1, and then to 0. At the end of every round, these do reset. They will respawn, so you're okay if you lose one. But just try to keep in mind you need to focus them. Barring any trolls being up, your main priority needs to be any ranged ad. Doesn't matter what it is, your priority needs to be the ranged ad. They hit way too hard for this instance. My two favorite glyphs are the Glyph of Healing and the Glyph of Defense for this one. The defense will let the damage they are attempting to do to you, they will instead do to themselves, and thus saving you a whole hell of a lot of effort. But just do your best. The best thing I can recommend is just kite the melees and focus down the ranged ads. These guys do hurt after a little bit, so do what you can. In this case, I'm going to back up. Watch the ranged ad. You can dodge roll those attacks. It will make your life a little easier. And boop. As you can see, he is red. That means he hits really hard. Just keep kiting him. If you see them charge anything, get out of the way. This little mini boss, his only big thing is that he summons that little ice spear. Just stay out of it and you're good. Trolls are just like the previous stranglers and the little spheres. They spawn on timers and not on particular round cooldowns. So just keep an eye on them. Alright, so we're probably going to die here if I might have screwed up already. But the primary thing you want to do here is just kite the ice ad and kill his little range buddies. Like I said, you can dodge roll the ranged attacks, so focus on that. You can also use the shield glyph to help you out a lot. Keep moving. Shield if necessary. Like I said, your main priority is always those little ranged ads. Everything else can die later. Just do your best to avoid the conals and you're good. Kill the troll first. Alright, we're back with more ranged ads. Yay. DKs, by the way, are quite nice for this because you can use wings to shoot that back at them too without the defense glyph. So that is also pretty handy to have wings. I believe there's also a sword and board ability that does the same thing. It's another very handy ult if you have access to it. I wouldn't really recommend taking sword and board in here, but if you do, you'll have it when needed. Wardens have shimmering. Very, very good for this. Alright, so the ogres, the big one for them. Try to keep kiting them. As you saw, he just shot that little cone. Make sure you watch for that. It hurts a lot. You can kite in between them. As you can see, the cone fires out these little itty bit, like 3 little lines. So you can just drift between the 2 lines, or a couple lines, and you're good. But just keep an eye out for them. Focus the range ad again. Sorry I keep repeating that over and over again, but I cannot stress that point enough. You must kill those ranged ads. They are your only priority for this instance. Alright, troll's dead. Ranged ad's dead. Oh. And as you can see, I took a good whack. Let's see what healed me. Oh, that was the wrong button. Sorry. And I got smacked by the conal from the giant. That's why I said you need to keep a careful eye on those and keep watching for them. Fortunately, it does restart around, but hey. Good enough for demonstration purposes, I suppose. This is also the round that always is screwing up my no-death attempts, in case you were wondering. Alright, first one dodged. And I got hit by it because I was being dumb. Okay, the troll is dead. Step out of the way. Even if it means going into the water for a second, you can avoid those like that. Watch which one's doing it, and you'll be fine. Now, I do not know if these guys have a particularly nasty enrage. They do seem to be glowing red for some reason. I don't really know why. I've never really encountered them doing anything else other than the mechanics I just showed. Right, so he's going to do his little conal, so... I got hit by it again. Alright, so... Just to make this easier on myself, and I believe what I had to do during this particular wave when I was first doing this, is don't do what I've been doing and standing on this island for this last wave. Go over here. Go over here, or go over there, and kill the other ads. Get yourself some more space between you and the giant. Because it is significantly easier to avoid his grip if you can just slink, you know, if you have some distance. Significantly easier to deal with him. Also, do not be afraid to ulti dump during any of these waves. I'm just not, for the sake of not accidentally burning things too quickly. But do not worry. If you want to use your ultimates, it is fully safe to do so. Alright, so now we're over here. Go ahead and kill the bears. Watch out for that. Wow, and I got hit by it again. Oh my goodness. I might actually edit that part out. Wow. I can't believe during my own tutorial video I'm actually dying that many times. That's funny. I'll probably end up leaving those in anyway. I want you guys to see that this is not a this is not just some walk in the park thing here. That was my own dumb fault though for getting clipped by that. I shouldn't have. There's really no reason for me to have gotten hit by that. Like I said, you can leave the trolls going for a minute. It's not going to kill nothing. Just get to them before they break that. Alright, so this time, let's not die to this. Not die to this, make sure you guys actually see how to do this right. But you get the general idea now. So this is the penalty of running an unedited run. I'm gonna watch for him this. Why can't I hit that ad? Alright, it was invisible for some reason. That or it just didn't happen. But either way, we didn't get hit by it. We're good. See ya. He is the he's also the last ad for this fight, so once he's done, just go mop this guy up and you're good. Alright, so boss round. I'm gonna use the glyphs to give you guys the example of how I had to do this my first time. Because this glyph or this guy hurts. So beat on him is beat on her to your heart's content. She's a glorified version of those previous guys. Run over here if you have to. As you can see, after you get her burned down to so much damage, she's going to do that. Your big thing you want to do, walk up and grab this shield glyph. Now you can completely ignore the melee ad or the ranged ads and only focus her and the melees. Also, if you're having trouble with damage, grab the damage glyph. I'm not going to for this. I'm just going to keep the shield glyph. It'll be fine. Alright. Run away. When she flashes red, you need to run. You cannot be on that when she explodes. I usually would grab the heal glyph over here if you're a lower damage level. But just kill the ads. Now kill her. And overall, she's not a horrible boss. She's not horrible. Like I said, the big thing to remember is that when she hit, I believe her first 30% health is gone. It might be 40. She's going to turn red, and go into the center of this. You need to be off the island. Also, during this, if you have lower damage, it might be good to focus the ad that spawns here. So, it's an archer and a melee. It's really good to focus the archer down if you can. After she blows this island up, I tend to always go to this island. Grab the damage on the way through. Grab the shield on the way through. And now you have a really easy time. The rest of this will be much easier. Once you get over here, I'd highly recommend killing the ads off at that moment. Because at that point, your glyphs are wearing off. Grab your heal glyph and just kind of burn down a couple of the ads and then focus her. I would also highly recommend saving your ultimate for the last platform. As at that point, you're now on a timer. There's no more hit point schedule. You have to get that done before she breaks the next platform. So, alrighty guys. With that round out of the way and the hilarious deaths past, let's get on with the spider round. Alrighty. So, this round in particular is actually quite enjoyable for me. And the main mechanic revolves around these little pillars here. You can see we have 4 that are webbed over, and 1 in the center that is not. So keep an eye on that. As you can see, these little horvers here, hit them, and if they die near one of those pillars, they will uncover your pillar. Your goal here, by the way, is to get 4 out of the 5 uncovered at all times. Do not uncover the 5th one. That is an important tactic that you want to try to do your best to remember. You only want 4 of the 5 uncovered. Because when you uncover the 5th, it will stun all the ads in the area and recover 4 of them against you. You have to start over from scratch. You are saving that stun for hard rounds or the boss fight. Also, you can just light attack these guys to lead them around. Alright. As you can see the spider around here, you want to make sure these little spider dudes run into the light. You don't have to stay on the obelisk yourself, but make sure the little spider dudes run into the light. That'll save you a lot of headache in the future. Alright, so as you can see, I also failed to kill the Horver near one of these things. So you can walk over to the Horver goop, and there you go. Just in case you don't happen to blow him up right next to it. Now that I've uncovered 4, though, I'm going to purposely keep the Horvers away from the obelisks as much as I can, and do not damage them when they're near that last webbed one. The only time you're ever going to want to unweb more is if you accidentally break one, and you have to start over, or if you miss a web spinner, which I will show you when they spawn, and they re-web one. Spiderlings are back, run to the obelisk. These will sometimes disappear on you, so like I said, just keep running them around until they've all hit the light, and you'll be good to go. Oh, there is a web spinner. There was a little spider over here that he webbed the thing back up. So you can kill them before they do so. I missed it. So the important thing is, if that happens to you, just kill another one of these Horver dudes. Wow. Got lightning down. Whoops. Anyway, if you die as well, these will start from scratch. So it's trying your best not to die. Let me restart these. They spawn in enough frequency that it's not that bad to do. Also, my priority is always the ranged ads here again. You can kite the melees. I failed to do so and got lightning bolted to death. Not paying attention, so just keep that in mind, that you gotta look around for that. Now, you always want to have at least 2 obelisks uncovered. If you do not have at least 2, those little spider rounds that chase you and you need to get them in the light. Oh, there's one of the web spinners I was just talking about. Make sure you kill them. The spiderlings, you need to have at least 2 obelisks to survive them, because the light sometimes disappears, and if you do not have a second one for the light to go to, it will just disappear and there will be no light. There's another web spinner. By the way, they always spawn on one you've cleaned, so you're always able just to kind of keep an eye on them. And over time, just watch them. They only take a few hits to die. Like I said, failing that, just grab a Horver and just clean up the one you missed. Not a big deal. You can either dodge roll that or block. I I tend to prefer to dodge roll that, as it saves you unnecessary damage. But if you don't have the stamina, just block. Another one of the spider rounds. Some of them will spawn on the lights too occasionally. You see that was a particularly easy one. That is a glitch spider. It does happen sometimes where a spider will glitch. Just run it past another light again and he'll go away. Grab you. So you don't want the Horver going near the one that you've already uncovered, as that can just cause problems that are not necessary. Lightning wave spawned. I believe the lightning is not coming from a particular ad. I think it comes from her. So just keep kiting around. Really, VMA is all about movement. You can't hold still in VMA. See, silence field. Kill the web spinner. Kill the Horver. He's not particularly difficult, but just kite him. The archers, on the other hand, hurt a lot. So your two options when dealing with these two archers is to either grab the shield glyph or just play very defensive till you can kill one. Either way, I highly recommend turtling up a little bit with shields and with your shields and whatnot. Kill the web spinner. Dodge roll him. Make sure your healing's still up. And we're good. When we get to the boss round, which we're not there yet, I believe we have one more round, I will show you why we've been, like, what we're saving this last Horver for. These guys, you can just kite. Don't let them hit you. They hit a little hard. They don't particularly charge any heavy attacks that you can't easily avoid. So just keep running around. You can dodge that. When he throws it, when he does that little wavy thing, all you have to do is wait for him to throw his arms forward. The second he does that, dodge roll, and you'll avoid that projectile. Berserkers, again, just focus the range ads if you can. The melees I did there, but focus the range ones if you can. And again, during this wave, do not be afraid to ulti dump if you have to. For the most part, you shouldn't. You can use an offensive glyph instead and just keep kiting these guys. You see we have a spider swarm after us. Go clean that up. And do not let him do that. Alright, the last boss has spawned. So, the most common tactic for this, once you have higher damage, is to kill him, grab him, dodge roll, and as you can see, she is now stunned. During this time, or before this, I would personally recommend grabbing this glyph here. I am going to let her get out of this, though. I'm going to let this play its time out, and the reason why I want to do that for you is because it has re-webbed most of them. You now have to start from scratch, and this will happen if you die your first time, so that's why I want to slow down. Ad priority is very important, but so is making sure you get those Horvers done. You need to get them, because she enrages after so much time without being stunned. So, your best bet, if you can survive it, is... Oh, I died there. It's good, we're starting from scratch now. But you really need to try to blow up the Horvers on the obelisk, which I failed to do there, because it's really hard to throw this energy in the middle of this fight. So do your best to light attack the Horvers and drag them in. Now I'm going to burn her proper. If you start like this, though, do not grab the axe glyph yet. Instead, wait until you're ready to stun her. Save your ultimate for when she's stunned. And just prioritize looking around for these Horvers. I'm going to keep focusing them when I see them. There's another one. Light attack. Go over here. I want him to run by this. Blow him up. That's one. Kill the web spinner. Kill this ad. This one is responsible for some of the lightning you'll be seeing. Speed glyph significantly helps here. I had much better experience my first run using the speed glyph, as she does begin putting a snare on you over time. It hurts a lot, so... Okay, I missed that. That sucks, but such is life. Anyway, we're down to only one left to uncover now. And as you can see, she is glowing red. She has reached her enrage point. She hits significantly harder now. So... Don't get hit. Do your best. I cannot stress that enough, actually. And there's our Horror. So now she's done that. You can grab your Glyph and make sure you've ulti dumped. So that is from doing it from scratch. When you're newer, your odds are you're going to have to do it from scratch. It's going to happen. But just do your best to keep clearing out the ads and keep focusing on those glyphs. I personally died a lot on this round. I'm not going to lie to you guys. My first try through, this hurt. But just do your best. Keep an eye on the obelisk. That's your biggest priority, and then you'll be able to get her. And like I said, when you stun her successfully and you have an ultimate up, that is when you use this glyph. Do not use it beforehand. The other glyphs, feel free to grab. The defense glyph will shoot her poison back at her. The speed glyph gets you out of the snares that she can cause. The healing glyph is really good. Feel free to use them all, but save that axe until you have your ult. Alrighty, guys. Let's get on with the next stage. Alrighty, guys. So, we've entered the poison round now. This one is a bit of a rage-inducing one for a lot of newer players coming through here, or even veteran players when they're not paying attention. But your big thing here is watch these plants. They are the main killer of this round. And in fact, they are so much so that you got to be really careful. But they will put a massive poison dot on you, which I will show you when I get the chance. I'll let the first one... I'm going to stand by this plant actually to make sure the first one hits me. It's hit me. Get to this. As fast as you can. Spamming shields, heals, whatever you have. Do the fastest you can to get to one of those pools. If you do not, you will die. And for the most part, the plant is nearly a death sentence no matter what. So your best bet is to always, and I mean always, just pay very close attention to the plants. When he's doing that, you can't hurt him when he begins growing, so just sit back and watch. I'm also going to equip Zons. I do not recommend having a AoE monster set for this one. This is the only stage in the entire instance where I highly recommend choosing a single target instance. I got poisoned. I just made it in. And the reason why so many plants are exploding right now is because of that venom collar over there. When your screen turns green, do your best to prioritize her, but watch your footing. What she does is that she makes the plants endlessly detonate, and then makes the plants respawn quickly. So she will cause you to constantly have to move and watch for plants. So just kill her as soon as possible, but she does nothing but the plant mechanics. So it's not going to be like a death sentence. Just keep an eye out for it. Another big one to pay attention to for this is that do not hang out by these pools. I know it seems really tempting. I've even tried it before. But the ads become damage immune when they're too close to these pools to prevent people from just camping them. I believe that that's why that was done. It's specifically to make sure you can't do that. So just stay around the middle of the room if you can. Watch for plants. As you can see, one spawn there. So you want to just gravitate towards where you know there's no plants. And the easiest way to keep an eye on that is just every so often while you're doing, I tend to kite in a circle like this in this particular stage rather than around the entire room. And just keep watching. Just keep an eye out for plants during that spin. Over time, as that new ones spawn, you'll see areas that are safe. You can go to them. Alright, Venom Collar up. I tend to always want to kill her first. Alright, Fat Boy. He hurts. Avoid those at all costs. Those are one taps. Now, for my first run of this, I admittedly would always ulti dump him. And honestly, I'd recommend it to you as well. Because when you're lower CP, he hurts a lot. And he's particularly tanky. So my old tactic used to be when I first came through is I would lead him out to the center of the room here when I killed the Venom Collar. And dump my Destro ult on him. Your best bet you can do. During any of these stages in particular, the shield glyph is very handy. I killed myself because I got stepped on plants. Anyway, the shield glyph is very, very handy for this. Those archers can hurt, including shooting a one-tap mechanic at you. Which I will try to show you on one of these archers soon. It's kind of random when they do it, but they'll begin charging up a bow shot. And you'll know this by they'll sit there with their bows, and there'll be this glowing orange coming from their bow. It's unmissable. when you see them doing this, so you'll know what I'm talking about. In fact, let me allow this archer to live. There it is. You want to walk up and bash him out of that. Now, the only reason why, like, you technically can dodge roll the attack, but it takes so long to fire off, it's really difficult to time. I find timing that dodge roll just so horrifically bad that your best bet is just to walk up and bash him, and you'll be fine. Another venom shot. This is the round in particular that I tended to use the shield glyph, as there's 3 archers, and all of them hurt a lot. I believe a venom collar just spawned. Yep. So watch for plants. See, warp around. Now come and get her. There are 2 trolls during this stage. Very obnoxious, but it is what it is. Just focus on your healing. This is your biggest thing for this stage. You don't need to DPS race this, but prioritize healing at all costs. Keep moving. That stun hurts. Alright, venom collar's up. Fine, we can kill her in between rounds. And now we are up to the glorious boss round. This is why I did not recommend bringing an AoE set, as I will show you this guy. 1, he has that poison AoE. Back up. Secondly, he has that. Same as the giants, except it goes in all directions. You have to kite that. This boss in particular always tends to kill me. Alright, kill the lightning ads. Now, the big thing to pay attention to when you kill one of these lightning ads is prioritize the one that is closest to plants. You cannot kill that ad until this phase is over. The other important thing to pay attention to, you see he's bashable? Do not. If you bash him, he'll one-tap you. So what you want to do is just kill a lightning ad. Make sure that if there's a venom collar up, kill that as quickly as possible, and stay under the damage shield while you are in that phase. Keep yourself protected. You tend to ulti dump him during that phase. That is usually the safest time. Just make sure you don't clip the ad that's protecting you, as if you kill that too quickly, you will die. Now, obviously the goal here is not to get caught by a plant while under that shield, because you cannot go to save yourself for a while. But if you are hit by a plant, if you are, I have personally activated one of my heals and just sat here and spammed shield and lived through. So when he's done screaming, you'd sprint to this and then kill the ad. If you happen to get caught by a plant, but ideally you don't want to, and it's usually a death sentence. But figured I'd let you know it is possible to heal through. Anyway, this is by far, because of those plants, a lot of people don't pay attention to the plants. It is the most rage-inducing stage of the entire instance if you cannot come to grips with them. If, like I said, you get very good about kiting in a circle and just watching for plants, this is a very easy stage to get through. Alrighty, guys. On to the fire round. Alright, so we have made it to the fire round, and similar to all other stages, movement is key here. Particularly stay away from the edge. It doesn't really do it until the round starts, but the edge will shoot little lava guys. I'm trying to get the proc. Yeah, that is. Just stay away from the edge. The little lava guys just hurt. The big one for these melee ads, don't get too far from them. Like, kite them, but don't get too far. And the reason why you don't want to get too far is their gap closer hits like a truck. Prioritize Kingrold. You want to make sure you bash him out of that at all times. That little flaming thing above his staff. What that does is it slowly ramps up more and more damage. So your goal is to burn that as quickly as possible and prioritize bashing him over anything else. Other guys can wait. The only special mechanic these guys really have is they'll charge a heavy attack, which you can block. Alright. He's spawned. He's annoying. He hits hard. He's annoying. Just back up. Watch out for his fire AoEs. And the way you hurt him is by you have to kill that first. Now he is damageable. You can ulti dump him if you'd like. Watch out when he gets close. He hits hard. And that's really all he does. He's got a pretty brutal melee attack, so I recommend kiting him as hard as you can. And he has that little lava attack, so just keep an eye out for it. For this round, you're going to see 3 spawns over there, but you really want to go over for this one instead, as a Kingrold spawns over here. So, just for the next round, just watch where the 3 spawns are and immediately flip sides, because that's where he spawns right here, and the 3 Shulks spawn over there. Next up, we have 2 healers. They are also bashable out of their heal, but they're not your priority unless if things are really hitting the fan. Alright, same as before. I tend to kill these ads first if you can. Alright, so I backed up. Dodge rolled away a few times, gives me some space. And feel free to burn. You tend to get clipped by that. By the way, being a vampire on the stage hurts a bit. I do it for your first trip through. If you are a vampire, I highly recommend reducing yourself down to stage 1 or 2 for this round, as it really hurts. Alright, so we just have a healer and a melee ad. The block is heavy, and you're good. 2 melee ads and a healer. Same thing as before, just keep blocking. You can also dodge roll those heavies if you're good at timing them. I prefer to block them because they don't really hit that hard. So why take the risk of missing the timing? Alright, another one of these guys. Differences with this guy, he spawns a Kingrold. Try to dodge roll these if you can, and get up and bash him as soon as it lets you. It's not letting me bash because I dodge rolled too much, but I healed through it. But yeah, you need to be able to bash him as quickly as you physically can. Bash that guy. And I should have done that better. I forgot the Kingrold spawned until right then, but he will spawn. He will always spawn on the west side of the room, I believe. So, if that helps. This next stage is particularly difficult. See these spawns over here? Go over to this one. This is the first Kingrold. You want to burn him as quickly as you physically can. And then there's the second Kingrold, which I don't have the current stats to block, so yeah, I can't bash because I was out of stamina. But that's why I don't like being a vampire for this stage, because you can just shield your way through that if you have to. It does hurt a lot though. This stage really screwed me up, really effed me up. Your best bet is either to grab the shield or the damage glyph. Though note, the Kingrold is not reflectable. That ability he's doing to you does not reflect at all. Oh, what a lovely boss. You can block her chains. That is the biggest thing you need to pay attention to. As you can see, she's now damageable. Kite her around as far out as she can go. Stay as far away. Now block. You don't have to after that, but what she will do is as soon as she drops that standard, she will pull you into it. And if you get pulled in, you are dead. So what you want to do is, if you have stamina, which I didn't there, keep your block up. Also, if she's no longer standing into it, it's fine. She can pull you now. It's not going to kill you. Alright, so this boss is kind of like the last one you just fought, except no chains. He has 3 obelisks that protect him. Now, I'm going to leave this one for a minute, and the reason I want to leave it is because she spawns Kingrolds. Go kill the Kingrold. You know, kill him, and then go kill this. So I'm not going to ulti dump her here just to prevent, you know, me of a total burn of this. But this is a fairly easy boss to burn once you have a lot of damage. As you can see, all that's happened is that she's reset the mechanic. You can dodge that. But she's reset and go again. I don't think there's a particular limit of how many times you can do this, but I highly recommend attempting to get this down to only 3 tries. It was easy enough to do even at CP 300 just to get this down to 3 tries. And if you are having trouble burning her quickly, always do what I did the first time. Kill 2, leave 1, wait for the Kingrold, then kill her. Because the Kingrold can spawn while she's stunned like that. And while she's damageable, which will waste your entire burn phase if the Kingrold is up. So, like I said, I'm just going to repeat that one more time. Kill 2 obelisks, wait for the Kingrold, kill the 3rd, then her. And then rinse, repeat until done. Very, very, very easy boss. Alright, guys, so we're going to get on to the last round. Alrighty, guys, so now we're on the last round, and this is where you're really going to test how much you actually perfected your skills at watching your surroundings. As you cannot step where these ghosts are stepping. You also, if you can, want to collect the gold ghosts, because the gold ghost will attempt to go to an enemy and buff the enemy if you don't get it. So your goal, collect the ghosts. There is really no particular burn order for these ads. Just kind of burn them as they come. Your real particular burn that you need to do, and I'll find him when he spawns, is the King-Girl, or not the King-Girls, the crematorium guard, the crematorial guards. That boy, right there. He is your primary kill. Now I'm going to let him live for a second, and you see that breath weapon? That will kill you. So your best bet for when you have these bosses, if you're not able to burn him before he has his breath out, shield and heal and just spin him around in circles while you're damaging him. Keep your healing up. The heal glyph is very handy for those guys, by the way. But like I said, primarily your end goal is to keep spinning him around so you're not taking so much fire damage. You can see we collected 3 ghosts. We can activate our synergy, and it does that. When you collect 3 ghosts, you have, I believe, 30 seconds before you lose the synergy. So I would highly recommend just using it. Though, as you get further into this, you'll learn when you can prioritize its use. Spin them around. And it makes that, seriously, that tactic makes him so easy. I really cannot stress enough just how much easier that makes that. I highly recommend killing the ads first for this guy, as they can stun you in his fire. Again, guys, I cannot stress enough, feel free to use these glyphs. They respawn in between all rounds. Watch the glyphs, pay attention to them, and just keep using them as you need them. They're there for a reason. Collect the gold ghosts if you can. And watch out for... There he is. Guy can stun you. With his gap closer will stun you, and also an AoE he creates will stun you. So you want to try to avoid those. He has a chain, just like the one ad. So if you kite too far from him, just watch out, he will chain you. See? Alright, next up, we can be stunned by some of this, so usually if you've gotten every gold ghost so far, it will work out so perfectly as to stun these guys for you and make this part of the round super easy. This next part, however, not so much. I highly recommend doing that. Block. Save your first ultimate for this. It makes it very, very easy, especially your first try through. Alright, this round is annoying, but it is what it is. So you need to prioritize these guys who spawn on the edge. If you do not, what will happen is they will make it to the center and begin summoning a big, big monster. So your primary goal, like I said, is to kill the ones on the wall. Prevent him from summoning the big bone colossus, and you're good. I am going to let him actually summon it real quick. Though I did not have an issue, even at low levels, keeping that from happening. I just kind of want to stress that point real quick, that it is not hard to prevent this from happening at all. But that being said, I'm going to let him do it. I'm actually going to repair my gear a little bit while we're doing this, apparently. But yeah, plenty of time. Plenty of time. Also, don't stand too close to the lava pit. It's the same as before. So it takes a while. It does take a while. You have plenty of time to stop this. But failing to stop it will cause this to happen. You will spawn the big old Colossus, and now you have to kill that too. He's just an extra ad that you really don't want to have to deal with. And I don't actually know what happened there. I've never seen him before. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've never seen him before. because even on my early runs, that was a very easy mechanic to avoid. But yeah, so apparently the ads that spawn on the side, they begin attacking you with hard hitting attacks when he spawns. So I guess prioritize them. Either way, just don't let that happen. So it's a particularly easy mechanic to stop from happening, even if you don't prioritize these guys first. Oh, she got the ghost. Damn. Oh, there's the guy with his super gap closer that stuns you. Very obnoxious. Kill her. So it's a kind lurker that stun you. Very obnoxious little bastards. Okay, Kingrold. This is the one where I recommend still focusing the Kingrold first. As you saw, it takes so long for that ad to spawn, it doesn't really even matter if you miss one. It really doesn't. But like I said, Kingrold is your top priority at all times. Alright, let's grab you. I believe we're now up to 2 ghosts. You can focus either one of these guys first. It doesn't really matter. This round does, in particular, spawn 2 of these guys, so it's a little obnoxious. Also, Fat Boy cannot absorb the ghost. The ghost will leave him alone. So, if you want to grab a ghost there, you can. I'm actually going to save at 2 and just hold off at 2. Alright, next round. This round's interesting because there's actually a boss. Like a mini boss in this round. I'm going to show you him. The best thing you can do when you're new here is grab this glyph and this glyph. You have plenty of time to go do so. I'm going to grab this glyph though and show you why. I'm not going to grab this one. His attacks are reflected back at him. Now, personally, ulti dump him. But yeah, grab the shield glyph. It will last plenty long to kill him. He does kill himself with it. And now you're on to the next wave where it's normal ads again. And everything's back to pretty much back to the way it was. I am going to have to grab the next ghost now because I've only got 10 seconds left before I lose all my ghosts anyway. You only can hold them for a minute, and extra ones for a minute and a half apparently. I did not know that. So let me go grab the third. Oh crap, that was not actually the third. Oh, that was a brand new one. Alright, he is the last ad before the boss. He's the last one. So, there is a trick that if you can balance your ghosts out just right, you can actually use your ghost bomb on the main boss. But that's probably not going to happen here. But, alright, so, again, use your glyphs as needed. Don't ulti dump the boss here, though. That's the only thing I'm going to tell you. Don't ulti dump him. Watch that. Heavy. Or you can block that or roll dodge. I prefer to roll dodge. Interrupt. Kill healer. And kill the Clanfear. On top of one of these runes. It's important to watch for the runes and kill the Clanfear on the rune. If you take too long down here, another Crematorial Guard will spawn. You already know how to deal with them. So I'm going to kind of just move on. Block. You can watch him. You'll see him charging up the skull. So you can see when he's about to do it. But your goal is to keep your healing up, keep moving, and keep killing these crystals. When he does this, position the wall between you and him. He'll protect you from getting thrown off the roof. Go. Alright. Go. I'm going to let him... I'm going to jump off the roof now, and you can get thrown off, by the way. The skulls will throw you off. And basically to that assortment, I just want to show you, you have to kill the Crem Guard. That's all that's going to happen. You have to come down here, maybe kill a healer, kill the Crem Guard, and you have to kill those little Clanfear dudes on top of this ad here. That's all you do. If you get thrown off... Oh, crap, I screwed that up. Taking too long down here. Don't get hit by those. Anyway. So overall, fairly simple. It's not too punishing if you fail. Just watch out for the Crem Guard. Expect that you have to do that. If you fall down, the fight immediately just starts from scratch up here, except that you have the crystals you've already burned are burned. We're done. He's going to slap us off. We take no damage from the lava. Now, at this point, if you're new, grab this. Grab the shield glyph, don't bash him, and instead let him kill himself. Just make sure you grab the gold thing. But let him kill himself with the glyph. Block. If you are on your own, and you don't have, you can't, if you're not able to DPS him down at this point, what you're going to want to do is instead kill the ads as they spawn, including Krem guards when they spawn. Now, I'm going to let him go a little longer here. So, explode. That's what I built up for. Now, if you have the damage, focus him. If you don't, focus the ad. But that's all you do. It's actually, he's not a hard boss. You can bash him out of what he was just doing there. Like I said, prioritize ads and ghosts if you don't have the damage to burn him. If you have the damage to burn him, there are tricks for that, but that's not what this video is really for. So, anyways, guys, I hope that helps you guys with your VMA clear. I hope it does well for you. I had a great time filming it, so have a good one, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Later, guys.